scientists! It's so great to see you again, and welcome to another episode of Spring into STEM. Spring into STEM. I'm so happy to see you. You might have already guessed it based on what I'm wearing and our beautiful decorations, but today we're talking about color. Oh, Mr. Music loves color. He loves to play some colorful music. Awesome. And I'm so happy to see some familiar faces. I see Claire, Sarah, Ellen, Lucy, Christina, so many familiar faces. If you're here, give me a little comment. I can't wait to say hi. All right, now before we get started, let's talk a little bit about last week. Last week, we talked about outer space. We took a special trip to the moon in our film canister rockets. Now, what's really exciting is that today, there's actually a space launch. That's right, a company called SpaceX is going to launch 2 astronauts in space today. So cool. The space launch is going to happen around 4:30. So as soon as this is done, head on the internet and take a look. This will be the first time that a spaceship has taken off from American soil in over a decade. So pretty exciting. All right. I also took a few observations in my science notebook this last week. So I went outside a few days and I actually drew a picture of what the moon looked like in the sky. Now, what was really interesting was that on May 22nd, I couldn't see the moon, which was kind of strange. But I looked it up, and this is a phase of the moon called the new moon. It's when the moon is completely dark. Then, as the days went on, I started to see more and more of the moon. This is a phase called a crescent moon. It looks like a little C. I'm excited to continue to look up in the sky and see how the moon changes each night. Maybe you want to do the same thing in your science journal. Let's set up our science journal for today, though. Today, our topic is color and light, and it's the 27th of May. Yesterday was my brother's birthday. To shout out to my brother, happy birthday, Noah. All right, now it's time to get started with our topic. Today, we're going to talk about color, as I said. Not only are we going to talk about how we see color, but we're also going to talk about how to separate color, how to mix color, and how to make color move. So many things, and I'm excited. Now, before we jump into the experiment, let's talk about what is color? Well, we need to start with light. What's really cool about light is that white light actually contains all the different colors. Now, to show you this, you can use a CD. Take a look at the CD. What do you notice? It looks pretty cool, huh? It kind of looks similar to a rainbow, right? Well, what's happening is that the white light is hitting the CD, and the ridges on the CD, their tiny little bumps, are actually bending that light and causing it to spread out into all those different colors. This shows us how white light actually contains all the different colors of the rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. That's right, Claire. Nice comment. Now, when white light shines on something, that object either absorbs different colors or reflects those colors. Let's take an example. Here's a line. Now, right now, white light is shining on this line. When the white light hits this line, the skin actually absorbs all the colors of the rainbow except green. Green gets reflected back and hits our eye, and we see green. So absorb like a sponge, taking in all those colors, and then reflecting back like a mirror, reflecting back green, which is why we see green. Now, I have a helpful picture to kind of show this, so let me show you. Here's an example with an apple. Right now, the apple is absorbing all colors of light, but it's reflecting back that red, which is why we see red. So it's absorbing orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple, but reflecting back that red. Pretty cool. Now, to test if we actually know this, let's go to our favorite friend, Dr. Marbles. Hey, Dr. Marbles.
Hey, Hannah!
Hey, it's good to see you.
Oh, it's good to see you. And hey, scientists!
Woo! They're so happy to see you too, I'm sure.
So happy to be here, Hannah. And you know why I'm particularly happy?
Why are you happy?
Because today is about color. And
That's
if there's
right.
one thing I'm crazy about, it's color. Hey, Hannah, you know what my favorite color is?
What's that?
It's on the tip of my nose.
Blue.
Blue!
Oh, tip of your nose because your nose is blue.
I love blue.
Of course.
Yep.
I love purple, which is why I'm wearing it.
Great color.
All right. So, Dr. Marbles, if you're so into color and you're such an expert on color, I'm going to give you a little test, okay?
Another test.
I know. I give you so many tests, but it's kind of fun to test you. That's why.
Yeah. Actually, if you don't test, you don't learn. So I'm happy.
That's right. Exactly. All right. So we just finished talking about absorption, how the skin of some fruit and objects absorb certain colors, and reflection, that they bounce those colors back to us, and that's what we see.
Yep.
So I'm going to test to see if you know what colors are being absorbed and what colors are being reflected on certain objects. Okay?
Yep.
Okay. You seem pretty confident.
Piece of cake.
Okay. So that's pretty easy. Let's do my shirt.
Okay.
Okay. So what colors are being absorbed in my shirt?
Piece of cake. Purple.
Close. So a lot of people might say that because it makes sense, right? It might be absorbing purple because it is purple, but it's actually the opposite.
What?
This shirt is actually absorbing all of the colors except purple. It's reflecting that purple light back at us, which is why we see purple. Do you want to try again?
Yes.
Okay. Let's try this folder.
Oh, folder looks yellow. Wanna say yellow, but I'm gonna say it reflects yellow.
It's exactly right. It's reflecting yellow.
Yep.
What colors is the folder absorbing?
Everything else.
Exactly. Now we're ready to move on to something else. The cool thing about colors is that colors can actually be combined together to make new colors.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to have 3 different colors of water. I have yellow water, I have blue water, and I have red water.
Huh.
All right, now I have these 3 colors of water, but yep.
You picked my favorite color.
Oh, I did.
I love blue.
I remember. Okay, I have these 3 colors, but I also want purple. Is it possible to have purple water?
Not sure how you do that.
What might I do to get purple water?
Oh, can I try? I think I know.
Okay.
What if you mix them?
That's a great idea. What 2 colors could I mix to make purple?
Blue.
Okay.
That's my favorite.
That's true. So let's start with that. And what else?
Red.
Yeah, let's try red too.
Let's try it.
Whoa, look at that.
Hey, Hannah, that's purple.
That's right. So red and blue make purple. Okay. What about green?
Yellow and blue.
Let's try it.
Let's try
Yellow and blue. Look at that.
I love it.
That's so cool.
So cool.
Okay, one more. And I also want to give a special shout out to Sarah, who got that red and blue make. Nice job, Sarah.
Nice job, Sarah.
Right. What about orange?
That can't have blue. I'm going to say red. Let's try red.
Okay.
Red is a lot like orange, so I'm going to say maybe just a little bit of yellow.
Let's try it. Yeah, maybe a little teeny bit. Look at that!
It's like magic, Hannah!
Look at all these colors that we could make by just using red and blue.
Nice.
So cool. Now, tricky one. What about black?
Black?
Yeah. What if I wanted to make black? What could I do?
Huh. I don't know. Put them all together?
That's a great idea. Nice job, Sean. Sean got that too. Let's try putting them all together. A little bit of each color.
There's my
look, I got
red,
some green, orange, green, purple, and look at that.
That looks pretty dark for me. It looks like it's black.
Pretty. So that must mean that the color black is all of the colors mixed together.
Wait a minute, Hannah, it looks like you made all those colors starting with 3.
Exactly. Actually, red, yellow, and blue are what are called primary colors. They're 3 colors that can then mix together to form so many other gazillion colors.
Amazing.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to show you another cool experiment to prove that black is a mixture of all the colors.
Okay.
Dr. Marbles, we'll see you in a little bit, okay?
Okay, see you in a bit.
All right. All right. So now we're going to do another cool experiment to show that black is a mixture of all of the colors. We need a paper towel strip, a bowl of water, and a black marker. That's it. So let's get started. The first thing you'll need is to just draw a thin line marker on your paper towel. Cool, just like that. Next, you're going to place your paper towel into the water. Now, before we do that, I want to make a hypothesis, a prediction. What do you think will happen when I place my paper towel into the water? For this, let's go to Dr. Marbles.
Well, I think that the water will go up the towel.
Why do you think that?
Not sure.
Yeah, it's just your prediction?
Yeah, I think it'll go up the towel.
Okay, let's give it a shot. So I'm going to place my paper towel into my water just so the water almost touches the black mark.
Okay.
Let me bring it a little closer so you guys can see what's happening. Dr. Marbles, you're right. The water is traveling up the paper towel.
Yep.
Let's see what else we start to notice.
Hannah, it looks like it's taking the color with it.
It does. It looks like the black ink is traveling up the paper towel.
And I'm starting to see colors.
Yeah. What colors are you seeing, Dr. Marbles?
I see a little blue. I see maybe some yellow and some orange.
That's pretty cool.
That water looks like it's separating the colors, Hannah.
That's right. This is actually called chromatography. It's a little bit of a confusing word, so let me put it up on the screen. Chromatography. Chromatography is the separation of this color, black, into all of the colors that it's made of. All those other pigments of color.
Huh.
Pretty cool.
I'm seeing yellow now.
Yeah. Now this might take a little while, so I want to show you one that I did yesterday just to prove or to show you what would happen if we continue to wait.
I was hoping you'd do that because I'll tell you, chromatography is slow.
It takes a long time.
Yeah.
Take a look at this.
Wow, that's kind of beautiful, actually.
And that all came from a single line of black ink. That's amazing. We see all these other colors now.
So
this is the process again.
So chromatography can separate colors.
That's exactly right.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, we're going to do one more experiment to show how chromatography and a process of capillary action, which we'll talk about, can cause colors to move. Are you ready?
Ready.
Cool. All right. So for this experiment, you're going to need 5 glasses. You can also use cups. That works too. So I'm going to have those 5 glasses like this. And 5. Cool. Now, This is a little bit confusing. Watch closely. Go ahead and pour water into every other glass. You'll need to fill it up a little more than halfway. Awesome. So water in every other glass. Now, go ahead and take your food coloring. We'll put 2 drops of red in the first cup, 2 drops of yellow in the second cup, and 2 drops of blue in the third. All right. Give it a little stir with either a pencil or a chopstick. Stir, stir, stir. Awesome. Now, you'll need some strips of paper towel. The strips should be about 1 inch thick, just like this. Fold the paper towel and place it from one glass to another, just like that. Make sure the glasses are pretty close so there's not a lot of paper towel coming over. All right. Take a look and see what you start to notice. Dr. Marbles, what are you seeing?
Hey, Hannah.
Hey, Dr. Marbles.
I forgot to mention yet earlier when we made a hypothesis, Prediction Chicken kind of reminded me that we didn't introduce him.
Oh, no.
And he's a little bit disappointed.
Oh, well, should we introduce him now?
There you go. Prediction Chicken.
Awesome. I'm glad he came in. Well, maybe he can be an observation chicken and tell us, what are you seeing?
You want to come up and be an observation chicken? There you go. Well, I'm watching this. Could you step aside just for a second? I'm watching this, and what's amazing, Hannah, is it looks like the water is carrying the color.
Do you know what? That's exactly what Claire said, too.
Yeah.
Look at that. They travel and make different colors. That's right.
Yeah, like the water in the blue cup is just grabbing some of the blue and taking it up. And the water in the yellow cup is taking the yellow up. And when the two, it's going to make a mixture like we saw earlier.
That's a great prediction. So you think that once these two start to come together, they might mix and form, what color would that be? Blue and yellow.
You think they're going to mix? Yeah, I think that's going to make green.
It would be so cool. That's exactly happening. Now, this process of water traveling through the paper towel.
Oh,
yeah,
I know.
What? Oh, okay. Yes.
Capillary action.
That's right. This process of the water traveling through the paper towel is called capillary action. That's when water travels through a solid like a paper towel.
So,
pretty cool.
Yeah. You know what, Noah? Hannah, water is kind of strong in that way. It can just lift the colors up against gravity.
That's right. Now, this is going to take a little while, so we'll check back on it in a bit, but I want to show you the example that I did yesterday. This was the beginning of my experiment, which looks pretty similar to my experiment now. I had red in one cup, yellow in another, and blue in the third. But watch what happens over time. In this picture, you can already start to see a little bit of green forming in this cup. The yellow and the blue are starting to mix. Now watch what happens even after a little more time. Now almost half of the water from the red cup has gone into this cup to form orange, and this cup now has green. It formed almost like a rainbow. Walking water is pretty cool. All right. Now, we'll check back on this in a little bit, but I have something super cool. I have two scientists with me today who are going to tell me a little bit about how they use color and light in their scientific work. Let's bring them in, but let's also bring in Dr. Marbles, who will probably have some questions.
I love guests.
Let's bring him on.
Do it.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey there.
Hey, Shelby.
Hi, everyone.
Hey,
It's so good to see you guys.
Yeah, nice to see you guys too. Great to see everyone.
Hey, Shelby. Hey, Jesse.
Hey.
Awesome.
I'm
So
Dr. Marble.
we have a few questions for you. First, why don't you guys just tell us a little bit about yourselves? What do you do? Where are you from?
Yeah. So I am a PhD student. So I'm a scientist at Harvard. And I'm from Maryland originally, but now I live up in Boston. And yeah, I do some chemistry and biology, so different types of science.
Yeah.
Amazing.
My name is Jessie. I am from San Diego, California. I'm also a PhD student, so I do research, and I use what we know about life on a really tiny scale to make new medicines. And both Shelby and I are mentors for Science Club for Girls.
Awesome. Dr. Marbles, do you have a question?
I was going to say, I have a question.
Go for it.
This is a question for both of you. I got to ask. Today's about light and color. So, do you both ever use light and color in your experiments or in your science? How do you use light and color in the work that you guys do?
Yeah, well, I use light and color a lot in the lab. So I'm really curious about these little tiny things that make up everything. It makes up you, it makes up animals and plants, and they're called cells. And so I think you can see a picture on your screen. I like to look at these cells and try to see where things are in them. And I can use different colors in order to do that. And you also need light in order to see those colors. So that's how I use light and color, one of many ways.
Wait a minute, Shelby. Let me see if I get this straight. You're saying those are cells?
They are. Each one of those dots is a different cell.
Wow. And the color helps you see them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Amazing. And what about you, Jessie?
Yeah, I also use color all the time in my research. So similar to Shelby, when you're looking at when you're working on things that are on this really tiny microscopic scale, color really helps us be able to see what we're doing. So looking at things like you might have heard of DNA, things like this, see how large molecules are. And then also just looking at different, cells in the body and tissues, it'll help you look at, what's going on that tiny scale.
You know
And color
what?
really helps us do that.
You know what, Jessie and Shelby? Looking at these pictures, it really shows that science is beautiful.
I agree.
That's definitely true. All right. I have a question too, guys. What made you interested in science and exploration in the first place?
Yeah. So, I've always been really interested in a lot of things, but especially in cooking. And cooking is really just science. I mean, you're mixing things together, everything from having your bread rise to making the perfect cookie. It all has to do with the different ingredients and how they interact. So I think on the screen you can see a picture of actually a science and cooking competition with some of my teammates that kind of shows how well they go together. So I've always been interested in that, and then also taken lots of science classes in school and decided that that was the area I really wanted to go into.
That's awesome. I love how you use science in cooking and made you realize that that's what you wanted to do. That's so cool. And what about Jessie?
Yeah, I've always been just totally fascinated by the natural world. So things like, plants and animals have just always been my favorite. And I decided to learn, I was very curious, wanted to learn more about them. And one of the things I found really interesting about them is as you go smaller in scale, there's a whole world of really interesting things going on. And so I kind of got further into that, really enjoyed my, science and math classes, and just kind of got more into it. And so, yeah, that's how I ended up here.
That's great. So cool. My last question is that there's a lot of young scientists that are watching today. What advice do you have for them?
Yeah, I would say just be confident and kind of follow your nose because you don't know where the clues might lead you. And also just to kind of have fun with it. So science is a lot of fun, especially if you kind of go for it.
Yeah. I would say, similarly, be curious. There's so many different things you can do. It's really a world of possibilities. And if you work hard and put yourself out there, there'll be really interesting things to find.
Awesome. So cool. Well, thank you guys so much for all that advice and knowledge. It was so great having you on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Awesome. We'll see you soon.
Sounds good.
So cool. I love meeting new scientists every day and hearing about their work. It seems like they use color and light a lot in their work as chemists. Really important stuff. All right, well, let's check back in really quickly with our walking rainbow. Now that it's had some more time to walk, we start to see a little bit more of that mixing. Look at that. I'm already starting to notice some green. I can't wait to check back in on this later. I'll post a photo in the comment section. Well, it was such a great show. Let's go back to Dr. Marbles just to say thank you one more time.
Hey, Hannah!
Oh boy. What? I love the rainbow.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I learned a couple of things today.
Okay.
The first thing I learned is about how to see color. I heard about how to take colors apart, how to put them together. I learned that there are 3 colors that can make the whole rainbow. And then Jesse and Shelby are just some of the coolest people I've ever met. Not only are they amazing scientists, but they're inspiring all sorts of new scientists.
Yeah.
And you know what the last thing I learned is, Hannah?
What was that, Dr. Marbles?
I don't have a favorite color. I like them all!
Well, that's clearly shown in your awesome headpiece.
Don't you love it?
I love it. It's so great.
Oh.
Well, Dr. Marbles, as always.
Oh,
yes.
Hannah, learn
Yes.
one more thing.
Oh, please.
Never forget prediction chicken.
Oh, no. Hashtag never forget prediction chicken.
Thanks for having me, Hannah.
Of course. We're so happy to have you. See you soon.
Bye, guys.
It was so great having all of you scientists as well. Thank you for another episode of Spring into STEM. Spring into STEM. Until next time, keep stemming it at home. Bye, guys.